Okay, this is the second part of our podcast, and we also have, as the first part, two special guests here. From primeiro ano B, Nathalia Carrazone.
That's me.
And Luana Scipião.
Oh God, I feel like
Scipião or Luana Homem de Melo?
I prefer Scipião.
Scipião, okay. All right. So, thanks for participating and accepting the invitation.
I don't like so much about the name, but
Also, I want to make an advice. My English is very bad, so don't mind.
cheers.
Don't say that.
Don't mind.
I know you can do it really well. So,
I
first of all, thank you for accepting the challenging of speaking in English. I know it's very. I know you're shy, and it's a kind of a challenge to speak out to people in English and another language. But I really appreciate what you're doing. We were talking, Maria Fernanda, and Bia. We were talking the first part about the beginning of the story until the part where we stopped on when she came back from her aunt's house. She received a letter, if you remember. She received a letter, and she found out that she has an uncle, and her aunt sent a letter back to her uncle. It's kind of mixing up things in my head, and she said Jane Eyre is dead. So she's not alive anymore. And
are you kidding?
Oh my God, that's so surprising.
and Mercy Reed, she was really mean to Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre said, "Okay, I forgive you, aunt, but I'm gonna live my life. Bye bye." And she probably died after that because she was really sick. Her aunt was really sick by this time, and she decided to go back to Thornfield to live her life. And what happens after that? So we're gonna follow this. I have like a script.
Schedule. It's like a schedule.
Yes, a script for you here.
Yeah, I feel like an actress, like Global High.
Okay, so now she's back at Thornfield, and now she meets back Mr. Rochester. That seems he was kind of expecting her. He was kind of counting the dates that she was coming back. What can you tell about this return to Thornfield?
Well, this reaction of him like reminds me when he were out some days and she were expecting him. Like, it really reminds me. And he looks quite different to me. He looks in love. Yeah.
He feels like, where is Jane Eyre? I can't live without Jane Eyre. Yeah, it was really nice. And she came back and he said, "Look at you. You told me just gonna be out for a few weeks, and you stayed like 4 weeks or a month or over a month." And you can see that the feeling there between them is different now, because he really missed her.
Yeah. Now he's jealous.
He's kind of jealous.
He's like, "Please, come back.
Give me priority. You know, I'm your priority." And when she comes back, the people from the house that were there just living more than a month, just having parties and eating and having conversations at his house, they are leaving the house. And do you remember what happens there? She feels like there was a promise that he was going to
marry
the
blonde lady.
Yeah, the blonde lady, the Amazon, Blanche Ingram. You know? And they have like a conversation in the yard about this. Do you remember? Can you say something about this return to Thornfield?
Yeah, this scene especially is quite beautiful. I really love this scene because I think they both are being honest, and I really love this honesty between both of them. And this return, I think it's a new part for both, because everything changed when Jane wasn't there. Now he realized that he missed her, and when we read the book, we see that she always thinks of him every time, and I think it's quite pretty.
Yeah.
What do you think about it, Luana?
Like, I don't remember so much. I remember the first time that they were quite distant, I think. So, and they had a strange relation. So, when you talk, when you speak something, they were in this type of relationship. I can't imagine so much in my head. I remember quite a few moments in the end. They were, I think, in a picnic, but this is far away.
Yeah. What is interesting there is, on Jane's mind, in my opinion, if you can disagree, if you don't agree with me, in Jane's mind, it would be impossible for him to love her.
Yeah.
Because of the difference, the social differences, the difference of ages. And so in her mind, she said, it's not gonna happen. I love him, but I have to admit that it's not gonna happen.
She
at all.
actually says that in the book. She says, like, I love him with all my heart and I will always love him, but he will marry her. Like, she already knows, you know. She thinks that it's impossible, an impossible idea.
This sounds like a old-time friend song.
Yeah. And also, in his mind, he said, I have to find a way to tell her that I love her. When she comes back, he's kind of trying to test if she really likes him or not. So she's saying, for my next wife, he never says Blanche.
Yeah.
He said, why not my next wife? Yes, and we have to find you a new place to stay, because now I'm going to have a wife. But he was trying to see her reactions on the fact that he's going to get married and she's not going to be able to live on Thornfield anymore. So he's kind of giving her this kind of,
he's quite
this speech in these little things to see her reaction. And she's evil. That's not evil. That's when
we all do this.
We all do this. We are
in different ways. It's not like I'm going to marry him. What do you think about it?
This is so cruel. Like, this is what I'm going to have in my life without you. Is going to be great, and
But he never said without you because he wants to marry.
He never said it wouldn't be her.
Yeah.
I think she already...
My next wife, you.
Yeah, it's my next wife. Could be you, huh?
Could be.
I think she's feeling a lot lonely.
Well, because on her mind, and it was impossible for her to imagine that he would consider loving her. Although I think she felt that he liked to be around with her and to talk to her, because he was always requesting her presence.
Yeah.
He was always, you are required. Né? I am requiring you in my party. You have to. I want you to sit along with people to talk, to socialize. He said, "Why me? I'm your I'm your
employee."
Yeah. Yes. I'm just a teacher here in your house. And when she feels like she really needs to move to from Thornfield because he's going to get married, she argues him. She said, "Sir, do I really have to leave Thornfield? I mean, can I?" He said, "Yes, I have to and I'm going to find you a good job. Don't worry, I'm thinking of maybe, is it Australia? He suggests it's Australia or Ireland."
Ireland.
Yes, yeah, Ireland, yeah.
Australia.
You would go to Ireland. Say, "Oh, sir, Ireland so far from here, so far from Thornfield.
So far from you."
She said, "I'm going to advertise." I said, "No, I'm going to find you a good..." And when he's saying, "I'm going to find you a good spot," because he's considering her to be his wife. That's what he's saying. So, did you get it? He's saying, I know what you're going to be, And she's thinking, and she's thinking, no, I'm going to leave Thornfield. But now she said, now that you're going to get married, sir. He said, yes, I'm going to find you a spot. I'm going to find you something to do. Be my wife, for example,
Oh, look at this ring, you see.
And that's the...
What the name? Finger.
That's the part, I think that's the top part of the story. Yeah. When they are together, it's about to rain. It's so romantic, isn't it? Aww. It's about to rain. It's getting dark. Yeah. They are there in the yard talking. The considerations on her future. And what happens then?
This
is a very cliche.
Well, that's love. Love is cliche, isn't it?
No.
Yeah, yes, it is.
No, sir.
So,
Oh my god.
tell me about this moment.
I cried so hard. Okay, this moment, he finally said, sei lá. Eita, eu não posso falar em português. Conta aí.
That's okay.
He said his feelings to her, and he's like, I love you, you don't love me back, but I love you. But she loves him back, and she doesn't know that he loves her, and it's like, I love you, but you don't love me back. And the another person is like, I love you, but you love me back, boy. It was like this moment, and it was so pretty because before reading this book, I search on internet and I always find quotes of this scene. I was like, what? And when I saw it, I was like, that's amazing, How could I never seen this in my life? What do you think about it?
No, when he was talking, like the guy, he seemed very in control of the situation. Like he was out of the situation. He's like, yeah, and then I will do this, and everything is going to be alright because I'm a genius. But he seems smooth. He's like a smooth guy.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to love me back, but I love you. But secretly, I feel like that you love me, but I won't say it because it sounds rude.
Yeah, because he's kind of always in control, and in this scene we see him fragile.
Yes, he's opening his heart.
Yeah.
He opens his heart. I believe he has never done this before, even with other women. He was really saying what he felt about her. I really have to read this part.
Read it.
Because that's the cutest part of the story. And here on page 42 of the book says,
Oh my God, I'm going to cry.
Oh no, sir, I will never. I could not finish. Now I started to cry and I could not stop. Why are you crying? He says. I fought for my feelings. I must speak. I love Thornfield. I have lived a full life here for the first time. I have not been frightened. I have talked face to face with an intelligent man, him. I have known you, Mr. Rochester, and now I must go. Why must you go? Because you are going to marry Miss Ingram, who is beautiful and high-born. No, you must stay. Do you think I have no feelings because I'm poor and I'm not pretty? Well, you're wrong. I have feelings. I have as much spirit as you. He took me in his arms. He held me to him. Jane, I offer you my hand and everything that I own. You are laughing at me. I ask you to walk through life at my side. Oh, it's so beautiful. You have already made your choice. I cried. Jane, you are my choice. Will you marry me? I did not answer. Do you believe me? No, sir. I do not love Miss Ingram, he said. She does not love me. I sent a friend to Ingram Park. Mr. Rochester has had some bad luck in business, he told them, and he has lost most of his fortune. The next day, this is something that is not shown on the TV series.
Yeah.
Just to test Miss Ingram, he sends a friend and said, you know what? Mr. Rochester is broken. He has no money anymore. Yeah. And Blanche Ingram goes, oh, that's the only reason why I want to marry this guy. And then the friend comes back and said, you know what? She was so disappointed because you're poor now. She doesn't love you. So he knew that. He knew that from the beginning that Miss Ingram was not in love with him. So let me look at your face, sir. Do you really love me? I love you. Then, sir, I will marry you. Oh, isn't that cool?
I like it.
So they decide now to be together and
For a while.
Yeah,
and it's so nice to see them so connected since after that, isn't it?
Yes.
They make plans together. Mrs. Fairfax kind of tries to disappoint her, said, "You're so overwhelmed, huh? How can you be so overwhelmed, huh?" And How do you think they connect after that?
I think they always have been connected, but right now, after this moment, they were not afraid to love like they were time ago, because they didn't know the feelings, because Jane Eyre expressed her love by her thoughts, and I think he also, because reading the book we just see Jane Eyre's point of view, but after this not married, but how he proposed her, they connect, making plans, being together, and like I said, not afraid to love and show his love in any ways.
Like in the whole book in general, he was known as a cold guy, and controlling guy, and he did not show. He used to show his feelings, and it is very sweet and important.
Yeah, he's being really nice. He changes a lot because of Jane. It's nice.
It is a I think it represents like what loves does to a person.
Yeah, that's true.
He changed a lot.
And it's kind of like, I've been living like this all my life. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the same person. Now that I have opened my heart to this young lady, now I'm gonna be for real. I mean, I'm gonna show what I really feel. And then after some time, not really long, I think it takes like weeks or something like that, they're gonna finally get married, and everything is ready for this marriage. He asks her to get ready and go. On the TV series, he's really pulling her to get into the church. He kind of knew that it could be messed up for some reason, so he was kind of said, "Come on, I'm running. Hold on. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get married." And they get into the church, and what happens there?
It's like in a she found out that he is already married. Yeah, very
Someone
sad.
claims that he is
married,
and he cannot get married again because it would be against the laws.
Yeah. What I think about it, they should forget and just, I don't know, eat a pizza and chill, like whatever.
Yeah, but it was really hard for this time.
Yes.
And especially we're talking about Jane Eyre.
Yeah.
Jane Eyre, she's a completely different woman, but she had the idea of doing what's right. I'm not gonna do what is wrong. I mean, my character, my personality, is to do what is right. I'm never gonna, open this. She did after, but I mean, in the beginning she was I'm not gonna change my perspective of life to do something wrong just because of love. I'm not gonna do it. So she finds. And can you tell me a little bit of what kind of woman he was married with?
Well, she was kind of unstable.
She was a lunatic.
Yeah.
That's another word. She was completely crazy.
I was trying to be nice, okay?
No, be nice because she was.
It's not kind of her fault.
Someone that bites people. I mean.
Yeah. Almost cute.
Like a mad dog.
Yeah.
If she was normal, we wouldn't be Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre,
True.
It's like very bad things happen to her.
Yeah, come on. This lady, come on. Everything messes up with her life.
Okay, I'm trying to see the good things about her. That's a total of 0 things, but okay. She ruined my marriage, and my marriage. My marriage. Well, I think that she used Miss Rochester for marry him, and
because he was rich
Yeah.
again.
Like all his wives, but
everybody's trying to get some benefit,
cash.
from being involved with him. Yes.
Yeah, and she shows who she is. Unstable.
Lunatic.
Lunatic.
Yeah.
Kind of unhealthy mentally speaking.
And what happens after all?
Well, she's locked in the tower.
Tall.
Tower.
Yeah,
Tower.
that thing. And she's locked there.
That building, you know.
Yeah, but she always finds a way to escape. I don't know how,
Yeah.
but she does. She puts fire 2 times there.
Probably gave something to Mercy's pool.
Yeah, she's like, I'm bored.
Grace pool.
Well, burn your house because I'm bored.
And then Jane leaves the house without telling Mr. Rochester.
Yeah.
He's still trying to convince her to have a life with her in some place.
Yeah.
Hidden from everybody, and we could be like brother and
Brother.
sister.
Okay.
Brother and
Hey, bro.
sister. I'm gonna
Hey,
touch.
bro.
I'm not gonna touch you. I'm just gonna.
Hey, bro. I love you, bro.
I'm just gonna steal some kisses on our birthday parties, this kind of stuff. But then she leaves. She left. She left the
She's
house.
like, not your sister, bro.
Hey man, you wanna have a birthday party every day?
And she leaves the house, and she finds herself lost nowhere. I mean, she doesn't
I
know
like
where
this
she
part.
is,
She's like poor.
I like
and she almost died, isn't it?
Yeah,
she was lucky. This man showed up and took her to his
Yeah,
house.
he's nice, but I hate him. Sorry.
I don't.
We're talking about Mr. Saint John Rivers.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy, the preacher,
That
The
little
preacher.
the missionary.
Oh my god,
And-
you can't say
No,
that.
no, I didn't say it.
What happens? He takes her home, and she,
Found out that he is her cousin.
yes, she stays there for a year. She helps being a
She
teacher.
lost a brother, but she find another.
And she finds that he is
Her
her
cousin.
cousin. How? Do you remember that? That's
No.
part of the story. Okay.
No,
Let
sir.
me remind you.
Explain to
Let me
us.
remind you. That's the part where he's going to visit someone and said, "Okay, I'm looking for a girl called Jane Eyre because she received a fortune from her uncle, and she's also your cousin." And they said, "Okay." The guy tells him
Yeah.
the story and said, "I have someone in my house with all these characteristics, and she's living with me for a year, and we don't know exactly who she is." She says she doesn't remember who she is, but she does,
Yeah.
because she's trying to be
Mysterious.
yes,
one, you know,
yes.
I'm not-
Nobody. Yeah,
Like, don't
She
mind
found out
me.
that she have a cousin and $1 million.
yeah.
Like that.
In this case, by this time it was 20,000 pounds.
A lot.
For example, she received 30 pounds for a year work, and it was not a lot.
You,
30 pounds for a year of work, and she now she finds out that she has 20,000 pounds of a fortune.
you did a little bit of an English accent.
Did I?
Like British.
I'm really mixed up.
25
I have some American, I have some British, I have some Australian, I have
You
some.
know Australia? Like
No, I don't.
that? Oh, I never know.
It's very different. Okay, and then now she finds that she's rich, and what does she do?
Well, she shares her money because she thinks that's unfair to keep to herself. So the bell ring.
Yeah, no problem.
Don't mind it.
Yeah, okay. And she shares the money. The money.
Yeah, shares the money with her cousins, with the other cousins that she didn't know. She was so happy. It was funny that part because she said, "You're a weird person. I just told you got 20,000 pounds, and you're not 20 pounds, 20,000 pounds, and oops, there are false one.
And now,
And she shows no happiness, and then she says, "I'm your cousin."
that's cool, bro.
Okay, give me a hug. You're my cousin. Said, "You're a weird person. I tell you, you got 20,000 pounds, and then you're happy because I'm your cousin, and you're gonna share the money with me. I mean, who are you, man?"
Poor Jane Eyre.
And this is Jane Eyre that she's showing her personality,
I like that
and
she
then,
thinks.
but she never forgot
Miss
Mr.
Rochester.
Mr. Rochester. So she decides to go back to
Thornfield.
find
Wait,
out what happens to him. Yeah.
Wait, we are not talking about her cousin trying to marry her?
Yes, Mr. St. John wanted to be a missionary, and then he decided to invite her to marry her and to go around the world to preach the word, to preach God's word. And she decided not to go because she felt that Mr. Rochester was in need of her. He was kind of suffering her absence and the distance from her. So she decided to go
To Thornfield.
to go back to Thornfield. And what does she find there?
Well, she actually thinks he's dead because a guy found her and he's like, oh my god, you don't know what happened here. Like, let me tell you.
For the tea.
Thanks for the tea. He's like, so, you know, Mr. Rochester, he's dead. And she's like, oh my god. But it was his father. He's not dead.
Senior of Rochester.
Yeah. And he tells Jane Eyre that it happened a fire there. He tells about his wife.
Yeah, that was she died, and it was a fire. Mr. Rochester sent all his employees back home. So, and he decided to leave the house because everything was lost here, and he lost pretty much part of his fortune. Most of his fortune was lost on the fire. He lost lots of money because of that incident. And
Miss Ingram wouldn't be happy.
no, she wouldn't. She would be burned too.
Yeah.
But I like it. It's like she has the money now.
So then Jane tries to find out where Mr. Rochester is, and he was probably in the Caribbean, in that house where he offered her to live with her. He was living there. And what does she find there?
Well, it's actually a very pretty scene. Not pretty, but sad. You know, it's touching. She found out that he's blind, and he's kind of lonely, you know. She looks at him, and he's lonely in the garden, and she's like, oh my god. And then she looks and see that he's blind. Yeah.
He kind of lost he lost his
Capability of seeing.
his ability to what?
Capability.
Yeah, capability.
Capability.
Wow.
Yeah,
Claps.
Luana.
You should be the teacher. Yeah, his capability of seeing things because of the fire, the incident. He got this problem, and she feels really sorry about him, and it's really nice. This part is really interesting. I like the part when he says, "Is it a ghost?" Mm-hmm. Jane, I can hear your voice coming through the trees. Is it a ghost? I think you're a ghost, Jane. It's impossible. It's not you. And she kisses him.
Yeah. I think so pretty when she touched his cheeks, I think. And he's like, this is Jane's hands. Oh my god.
He touches his... Yeah, that's true. That's nice. That's
so
really, really cute. And then Jane decides to... Now he was not married anymore because he lost his wife. So legally, under God's...
Oh, what a shame, you know.
What a shame. No. So we can marry.
Okay.
Not brothers, so I guess husband and wife. Birthday every day.
Yeah. And then the last picture of the book is Jane, just like the way it starts, it ends.
Yeah.
In the beginning, she was rejected to be part of a painting.
She's like, you're not part of family. Get out, please.
And now she has her own family.
Yeah.
She has built her own nice family with Mr. Rochester, which sounds like he recovered part of his the capability of singing again.
Capability.
And they live happily for the rest of their life. So it's really, really beautiful story.
There's a iconic quote there. Reader, I married him. It's so pretty. Like I was like, oh my god, she actually married him. Yeah.
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 I think like the book, it is also a critic to society in the old times, you know, that material stuff were really important, and he was never really loved by women's, like women's were after him because of the money. So after Jane Eyre, he feels like he becomes another person, and when he became a blind person, it is like he's not seeing that world anymore. He's like feeling not lonely as he was before Jane, you know. It is very beautiful.
Yeah, love changes people. And oh my god, bell rings. Love changes people. And he also says in the book, "You are my eyes. You're the girl of my eyes." And that's beautiful. Beautiful. That's so beautiful. Feeling British. And she reads books for him, and it's so pretty, you know.
So
It's
honest
true. It's honest, and I think this really reflects the society in general, because we see a lot of critic in this book since the beginning to the end.
Yeah, the personality, how she decided to pose herself into the society and with her opinions. And what I love, the great message for me is this, which is really evident. Jane at the end was loved from who she was, and Mr. Rochester at the end, he was loved from who he was, not because of he had money, not because of anything like that, not because she was ugly, because she felt like she was ugly, but because of what she had. He could see on her. He said, I've been looking for a beautiful woman all my life, and look what happened to me. I got a woman that just wanted my money. Now he could see through her the good personality she had and the good things that she had, and she admired him not because of money, but because of what he was. So I think that's as you said, lots of different messages here, but it's a really, really nice book to read and to appreciate.
And she never gave up on love. We see how she was treated as a child. They never gave love to her, and now when she is an adult, she still loves people, you know, and it's something so true that she never gave up to find love.
And she became a teacher, you know.
Yeah.
She helped others.
And she did that because she loved. She had this, I'm not going to hit the kids. I have to teach them by love. So it was something really controversial at this time, because the punishment was one of the things that they use as part of the educational process.
Yeah.
Girls, we could be talking here for hours and hours because it's so nice, and I really think you guys have connected well. So thanks for your participation.
You're welcome,
Thank you for losing some of your classes to be here.
Oh, don't worry about it, you know.
I'm gonna let them know, huh?
But if, if you want to read the thing, you know, of Stephen King, and talk about it.
Okay, let's find more books to share and to make podcasts.
I would love to.
Okay, maybe, why not?
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Luana, for your first participation. You did well. Thank you, guys. See you next time.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.